all year long. Brian is in Franklin touring their land. I didn't know this existed.
Isn't that, I mean, that's totally true. A lot of people probably have no idea that out here in Franklin, there's a farm. There's a farm that's been here since the late 1800s, and they've taken it over about a couple decades ago. Jonathan, I have to tell you that the work that you guys are doing, especially during the pandemic, is so impressive, and we are thankful for all the hard work you're doing. Part of it is, though, growing fresh produce out here at the farm. So talk about this huge space that you guys have out here in Franklin that, like Kim said, not a lot of people know about.
Sure, Brian. We are here at the Hunger Task Force Farm, 208 acres in Franklin, Wisconsin, so right in our backyard here locally. But we grow fresh, locally grown produce for the express purpose of feeding the hungry in our community.
Now, and these apples right here on your orchard, which you have, I believe, was it 5 acres?
Help you out here.
Thank you very much. Is that a Macintosh, by the way?
This is a Macintosh, yes.
These apples that you're picking off the tree, and because they're so tall, you can grab a few more if you want to. These are going right to those that are hungry in Milwaukee County, like within hours, aren't they?
Apples will be harvested today. They'll be washed here at the farm, and then within 24 hours, they'll be on the tables of local families.
I mean, that is amazing, too. The fresh produce going right to their tables within literally days. And these apples are great. Some of them probably don't even need to be washed. You just pick them off and eat them yourself. What's it like, you know, being out here? Because you've been with Hunger Task Force for 12 years. Typically, you probably don't get out to the farm as much as you would like. What's the vibe out here? Because there are a lot of volunteers helping, and you still need volunteers.
Absolutely. Hunger Task Force's mission is to end hunger here in our community. And the farm is a very unique part of that. It's very rare to have an urban farm of this size that produces over 500,000 pounds of produce for the hungry every single year.
So 500,000?
It's a very special program that's part of Hunger Task Force. It produces fresh vegetables, fresh fruits that are delivered to families in need right here in our own community.
And out here on the orchard, it's not just the apples, it's the
apples and pears.
I think I saw like 3 or 4 varieties of pears, roughly 20 some apples as well. So all morning long, we're going to be getting a tour of this location, the farm out here in Franklin. But what else is there aside from the orchard? There's the hoop houses, the vegetables.
There's a lot of fields.
There's a fish hatchery, right?
There's a fish hatchery here.
I mean, come on.
We're going to show it all to you this morning.
We get to do this. And if you want to volunteer, what's the best way to be a part of that? Because a lot of people that are watching this might, you know, have that extra time to help out.
We need volunteers at the farm, especially now during the harvest season. So whether you're an individual or you're a group, you're part of a company, a church, a school, we need your help. Pop on to hungertaskforce.org, sign up, and we welcome you here for the harvest.
There you go. All right, we'll start dunking a few in there, Jonathan. FOX6now.com for more information on the farm out here in Franklin. Yes, as you heard him say, they do need volunteers, especially during this time. Although you might want to have a ladder. Jonathan doesn't need a ladder. I might not need a ladder, but I'll tell you what, when you're grabbing the apples, these trees are a little bit older, a little bit higher up there. It's not the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. This is some really tasty
So we need a ladder for jelly.
There you go.
Or just go on Jonathan's shoulders and then she'll be good to go.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, thanks. Helping those in need with sustainability and homegrown foods. Brian is getting a behind-the-scenes look at the Hunger Task Force farm in Franklin.
Yeah, so earlier on we were out in the fields, the vegetable fields, and we were picking some collard greens. You got to see how beautiful it was out there. Obviously mass amounts of vegetation for those in need. And in here, well, of course, that has to be cleaned and then processed and then shipped out. And that all, Sarah, happens pretty quick because you got a bunch of peppers in this thing. Ooh, I like your little droid that's helping you out here, by the way, in the warehouse. So you got peppers and...
We have peppers. So we grow 21 different fruits and vegetables here at the farm for people in need. All that produce, 500,000 pounds of produce, comes in. We wash it, we package it, put it into our bins, and then it goes into this walk-in cooler, and then it's out to food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, and low-income senior sites in 24 to 48 hours.
It's so fast. And if it wasn't that fast, then it wouldn't be fresh. And then it would sit there and possibly not be used. And the goal is to get it in the hands of those people that are hungry and then from that point on enjoyed when it should be. And these look like some amazing peppers as well. Is there a particular name to these peppers?
This is Escamillo sweet pepper. It's one of the sweetest peppers you'll ever have. It's very delicious. It's high in vitamin C and B vitamins as well. It's very nutritious.
We've seen, you know, volunteers out in the fields. We've seen them in the warehouse. We've seen them all over the ground. It's like seemingly you have a lot of volunteers, but you need more during this time as well.
It's true. So the farm is a strategic response to a need for access to fresh fruits and vegetables. Communities all over the nation deal with this, so that's what our response is with the farm. So we need lots of people to help us harvest plant, seed, weed, and get all of that product to people in need.
Right, and which is not just a seasonal thing. This is year-round. We saw the hoop houses earlier on. There's work that needs to be done in there. From this end, though, is there any time that you have a downtime here at the farm in Franklin? Because Hunger Task Force never slows down, but out here, do you have a slowdown because of the vegetation?
We have our planting time, which is usually around, January, February, just before we start planting for the season. Had to go through that seed ordering and things of that nature, but we're also, the team helps out different parts of the agency.
Well, and you help out a lot, too, as I saw you babying those spinach plants just right down on the ground to literally getting baskets full of fresh produce out to those that are hungry in the area. FOX6now.com for more information on the farm. It's out here in Franklin, part of Hunger Task Force, and their way to give back to the community. It's obviously growing fresh food, fresh produce, and getting it in the hands of people immediate, just like Sarah said.
That yield is incredible.
Oh, they're like rainbow peppers, too.
Yes.
They got all the colors in one.
Welcome back to Real Milwaukee. We're out here in Franklin at the farm. This is the Hunger Task Force farm, and I'm obviously in my Halloween costume getting ready for Halloween. Not so much, because Kyle over here is also in his beekeeper outfit, and we have bees by us, Kyle. Now, out here at the farm with all these acres, you have 6 hives, am I correct in saying?
We have 8 hives.
You have 8 hives. Why do you have the hives? Because you don't produce a lot of honey. You do produce some, but what are the bees good for?
So the primary purpose of the bees is to pollinate. So you've spent some time in the orchards today, this morning.
Yeah.
So these 2 hives, are adjacent to our one of our orchards. And we have, like I said, 8 hives spread out throughout the farm to pollinate the crops that need it.
Would you consider this is an active hive? I see the honeybees swarming around, and I do see some yellow jackets. Are they friends, by the way? That's a question I don't really have an answer to.
They're not necessarily friends, but I would say this is an active but calm hive.
Okay, it's calm. Good. Well, let's let's bring it up a scotch here. You have a utensil in your hand that's going to open up the hive, or the. What is this called, anyways, that you're opening up? This is.
Well, there's a top to the hive like this. And what I have in my hand is a hive tool.
Okay.
So this is an outer cover, and then this is an inner cover. This is just going to protect the bees from any rain, but also allow some airflow.
Do they like that?
Again, you can see that.
Do they like airflow?
Airflow is good.
It's good for them or for us.
Well, moisture is bad for the hive, so airflow is good. Yep.
Okay, airflow is good. I know we're probably not going to see the queen. But
no.
Do you have an idea of where the queen is?
Yeah, so you can see there's this little metal piece here. And the slats in there are a size such that the smaller bees, which are the workers, can come up through them, but the queen, which is quite a bit bigger, cannot. So the queen is going to be in the bottom half of the hive. We're going to just leave her alone because she's very important, obviously.
Okay.
And then these 2 boxes here are just going to be for brood. And then up here is where we're going to be taking our honey from.
There's quite the buzz around here, and I mean that. I mean that in a literal way, because all you hear is bzzz, and they're starting to get a little bit more agitated. What are you doing?
A little bit.
What are you doing? Are you opening things up more?
I'm going to see if I can show us.
I don't know if I want to see more. Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Frame with some honey.
Yeah, let's see.
Live TV, so we'll see how it goes.
I'm wearing a protective suit, but Suzanne's not.
Oh. Well, Suzanne's super brave then.
She's such a trooper.
Poor Suzanne.
I was going to ask
Such
you.
a trooper, I know.
Do those beekeeping outfits ever have, does one ever kind of get through the gates there?
Yeah, there are holes here. That was one thing that I had to make sure was not the case with my XL that I have on right now. Oh, wow, there it is. Look at that.
That's the honey that we will be harvesting.
And you'll be extracting that very soon.
Exactly.
That's all very interesting. Hey, I just want to say thank you to you and Sarah and to the entire team today for giving us an insight of what you guys do here at the farm. And also, because you and Sarah are the ones that usually take on this job, who's next to take on is it a newbie's job to take on this role?
That's traditionally been how it's gone, yeah.
Okay, guys, so if you want to be a volunteer out here at the farm, FOX6now.com for more details. Maybe you can be in charge of their 8 hives. Or maybe not. You can pick apples. Your choice.
Right. There's one requirement for that job, though. You have to be positive.